Tonight's episode of Off the Hook is presented by the Boathouse. Whether you are looking for a new boat, accessories, or parts, the Boathouse has been servicing the local boating communities of Oconomowoc, Lake Country area, Madison, Lake Geneva, Southeast Wisconsin for over 30 years. We would be happy to share our knowledge and give you the information to make informed choices. Our job is to help boaters love boating.
Welcome to episode 22 of Off the Hook. For Wyatt Kopelman and Andrew Lind, I'm Charlie Dern. The Chinooks fought back to a 5-3 win tonight. Andrew, after the game, we did see Griffin Dorshin kind of tip his cap to everybody. I know you've talked to him recently. Tell us about that conversation.
Yeah, Griffin Dorshin gave the Chinook faithful a tip to the cap. It was a goodbye for what probably will be his last game here in Mequon Wyatt before heading off to Oklahoma State this spring. But yeah, it was a great time just to talk to Griffin and his mom and some former coaches over at NKU just about his career. You know, it hasn't been an easy path for Griffin, but just to learn that baseball is so much more than just the talent that you put out there on the field. It's about the mental aspect, and just to learn about the struggles that Griffin's overcome was really just great for me to hear. You know, you see these guys play every day, but you never know the story behind what you're seeing. So it was just a great time to really get to know him as a player and wish him the best at Oklahoma State.
Well, you talk about a guy like Griffin Dorshin, the big bopper that he's turned into. He's really become the face of the franchise for Lakeshore, especially this season. And after a turbulent 2020 for everyone in the Northwoods League, Chinooks didn't even participate last year, of course. The Dock Spiders, they took their second Northwoods League title in 3 years. But going back to Dorshin, you see a guy who's overcome so many mental hurdles, both on and off the diamond, and now he's setting a role model for all of the youngsters that come out to Lake Michigan to see him play on a weekly basis. And he's just done a lot of great stuff when it comes to leaving the right mark on the community. And he's really passing the baton off to a lot of other guys. You know, we saw Justin Olson getting involved today, Connor Kimple too.
Griffin Dorshin will always say yes, of course, to anything that anybody ever asks, whether it's a picture, an autograph. He really does it for everybody. And, well, tonight, Wyatt, we scored all 5 runs in 1 inning in that bottom of the 5th. That comeback that we had, we were down 2, but then we gave Cam Anfang the support.
We really did, Charlie, and you saw 9 up and 9 down easily, and for Fond du Lac, their starting pitching as well as their bullpen really in Connor Blake and others just came out really as sharp as a knife, and then all of a sudden the floodgates opened, and you saw guys like Justin Olson say, all right, that's enough of the bases loaded, scoring threat eliminated, as well as the 9 up and 9 down that I mentioned. He said, this is my game. Stepped up with a bases clearing stand-up RBI double all the way back to the 405-foot marker in center field. Justin Olson, for his 11th RBI, certainly has to be one for the ages. He may not be coming back to Lakeshore next year. We don't know who's coming back, but it's going to be great to close out the season in great fashion. Justin Olson did that tonight.
Well, Justin Olson had that great RBI double, but it was also a game of new guys. It was a mixture between the old guys and the new guys, Andrew, whether that was Cam Anfang on the mound or Justin Olson with that double.
Yeah, when the majority of the guys showed up in June and it was the same roster game in and game out, we pretty much knew who was going to bring the juice. It was the Griffin Dorshings, the Jackson Grays, the Brennan Bales. But now with new guys and the season kind of starting to wind down, a lot of those guys are going back to school, and we start bringing some of these new guys. So Cam Anfang on the mound, did a great job. 7 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 strikeouts. Worked out of some jams. Luis Canez, who we saw in the late innings, gave up 1 run, but after kind of struggling in Madison, he looked great. And then Evan Rice, he's been really impressive to me. Has been here for a couple weeks and was able to get a trio of hits in there. But then back to the old guys, like you mentioned, Justin Olson in the 5th inning, and then Connor Kimple, who's been on a tear. We wish we could have seen that a little early in the season, but yesterday his first home run here in Lakeshore since 2018, along with a pair of hits. What else can you add to Wyatt?
I think Connor Kimple, the biggest thing for him is just not being afraid to make too many adjustments at once. You see Coach Keith Ritchie, the hitting coach, has helped so many guys transform their swing this season. And even so, Lakeshore has had a big problem striking out. They had 11 strikeouts tonight. But Connor Kimple has been able to step up big. And after a 2018 season in which he was hoping to carry over 3 years later, he's still here. I think it's just great for him to be able to set an example for the new guys. And that's clearly carried on to Justin Olson. And going back to Luis Canez, it almost seemed like it would have been a blown save, though the wild pitch came into effect. You saw him sort of just regather himself, not able to keep an entire command of the box necessarily, but fortunately for him, time ran out on the Dock Spiders. He was able to pick up that first save of the season after being on the wrong side of no-hitter in Madison with that first loss.
Well, you just mentioned that final end of the game. We finally closed it out, and one thing that we've kind of joked about and talked about is we can never put it all together. You know, we finally had the lead, but we weren't able to close it out in a lot of games. But tonight we were, and we didn't really have to do that. We finally got that result, Wyatt.
We really did, Charlie, especially coming off of a game where you thought that 3 runs would be enough against the Kokomo Jackrabbits. Nope, unfortunately, the Kokomo Jackrabbits, they're just a bigger enemy to face, and the Dock Spiders are too. Don't get me wrong about that. I mean, they clinched the first half of the season. Now they're playing the Wisconsin Woodchucks, likely in that first round of the playoffs next week, a team that's also struggled at times. Lakeshore has had their number. And for Lakeshore, I mean, they were able to come in and finally get just enough to take a 2-run win. And it really should be, Charlie, 2 runs back-to-back, 2-run wins, that is, after losing 6 of 7 coming into this one. I think if you're Travis Sacre, it's just a little bit of a spark lighter going into tomorrow at a place like Herbaker Field, where Lakeshore has actually beaten the Dock Spiders twice this season.
The Chinooks return Wednesday and Thursday night at Capco Park. For Wyatt Kopelman and Andrew Lind, I'm Charlie Dern. Thanks for watching.